Hi, sweeties. How are you doing? Welcome to Naya Sim, and thank you all so much for all the love and support. Hope you all are doing great. So, I came across this video, and this is really very sad that in 2024, some people think like this. And do not get me wrong. I mean, I have been here like all time trying to talk sense or trying to bring other communities as in, like each time I try to checkmate them each time they say some certain things about people that look like me. But then how do you want me to react when my own family member or my own community actually came out to say something like this, that black people and black women should not have the right to vote? And I am going to ask, what era do you want to take black people back to? Do you want to take black people back to Jim Crow, slavery, and all that? Why? Because that was the period something like this happened. And as time goes on, they fought so hard to get their rights, civil rights, right? And you want to take them back in the day, make America great again. Now, this is the problem we are facing, especially when it is coming from your own community, right? And looking at this, some people do not talk different from their masters. You know, when they say apple does not fall far from the tree, you all are still the same, no matter how you try to rebrand yourself, because this is really appalling. Let's get into this.
Obviously, black people are not quite angry enough. So we will continue to experience pain, death, and social injustice until we stop it, until we act, until we get angry. I believe that African Americans are at a pivotal point in history. The world is not waiting for us to wake up to our power. It is time for African Americans to take a seat at the table, not only in America, but also in the global economy. Unfortunately, we continue to place our power in the hands of those who have historically oppressed us, and even worse, we continue to oppress each other. In other words, brothers and sisters, there is no one to save us but us. In case no one told you this, I'm telling you this. They told me. They thought I was white. So, you know, Dr. Fraser, I was at an all-white event. I'm sort of, maybe God put me here as a spy, a double agent. We will not be saving black people. No. In fact, white folks are not even thinking about black people. Do you know who white folks are thinking about? They're thinking about white folks. They're thinking about their children, their wives, their husbands, their communities, their businesses, their educational system. They're not thinking about you. I had a good white friend who said to me not long ago, he said, George, I know the problem with black people. I said, oh, really? Really, Bob? What might that be? He said, you spend all your time thinking about us, and we don't spend any of our time thinking about you. Therefore, if you're not thinking about you, and we damn sure ain't thinking about you, who's thinking about you? Well, I had to do a Holy Ghost dance. Sometimes I feel that we are searching for a key to an unlocked door. That the door to opportunity in this great country, this great racist, white supremacist country, and it's racist and white supremacist. There's no question about that. It's in the DNA. You will not live to see that change. You will not fix that. There will have to be generations of white people that will simply have to die. Really? That's what's going to happen. You're not going to fix it. You cannot train that out of white people. They will have to die.
Just my thoughts. We reject woke ideology. We fight the woke in the legislature. We fight the woke in the schools. We fight the woke in the corporations. We will never, ever surrender to the woke mob. Florida is where woke goes to die. The woke mob. Florida is where woke goes to die.
This sketch, apparently they're looking in my archives and seeing some of the stuff that was on contents on sketches that I had put my 2 cents in. Now, a lot of y'all remembered Ron DeSantis when he was running for president. And if you don't know who Ron DeSantis is, he's the Floridian governor who's a part of the Senate. And he's supposed to be the regulator for Florida. And he's doing a real fantastic job, sarcastically. Now, he took it upon himself to use Black people's community and even the LGBT community, but predominantly the Black people's community, as a way of a publicity stunt. So he comes up with the word woke. Now, everybody in the Black community knows what the word woke is. Okay? It was a way that we had a code to indicate to each other to stay protected, to stay guard, to be careful in certain type of spaces, especially spaces that's not around our surrounding, especially when we had to deal with people in a Caucasian community that wanted to find ways to lynch us, destroy us, and do all kinds of things. So we will say woke as a code as being protected as a fellow Black American, okay? Or especially if you was in a community and this was not your environment, just to be in a guard. It's nothing racist. It's nothing disrespectful. It's the way how Black people had our communication system line towards each other. Now, what I said is that I wanted to know, where's the NAACP? Where is the Black caucus? Where's the Black unity and organization when you're hearing this man spurring racial stirs? You see, it only takes a leader to open up his mouth and say derogatory things about people in the Black culture. Just like we had Trump and his running candidate for vice president, J.D. Vance, when they came up with this misconception and misguide, which to me was a racial stereotype about how the Haitian community is eating cats and dogs, all because the area that they're living in, they believe that they should not be there. Okay? And that is not their choice to tell them that they cannot be there. We are people and we are one. We have the right to do that. Well, Ron DeSantis was giving another negative stereotypation. So I took somebody's content and I pretty much was listening to what he was saying. And what pissed me off was this is the same person that wanted to ban Black American history and wanted to eliminate it, and telling us that these are woke queer theories about authors, famous authors that wrote books about certain situations and made it into historical fictional storyline to a fictional storyline to a non-fictional storyline, okay, and put it in classifications to show events that had happened, even if they had to change the name and subject, which is called fiction. Historical fiction is when they brings in things in the story and bring it into characters that was depicted on the events that happened. Now, nonfiction is the autobiography, the actual truth. So he started banning books in his area, but it all started in Texas. And when Texas came with their first experiment to want to evoke all of Black histories and their literature, then he turned around and did the same thing. And it was started to escalate in various parts in the South and Midwest and so forth. Started to become a toxic disease. So he used this as his campaign. So he turns around and emphasizes in this campaign that woke should die. Now, we did not have a backup system in the federal government, which is the executive government. We didn't have nobody speaking about it until later on when people was making comments on this app. Then when they were making the speeches, to me, it was just a way of their campaign speeches. Once again, they always use the Black community as a way for when it comes to campaign. That is the only time we exist. So Ron DeSantis had to step down, okay, because they probably felt that he was not fit enough to be running as campaign for president because of his rants and other foolishness too, and the way he was sabotaging Florida, allegedly. But at the end of the day, we have people like him that's spearing nothing but hatred and hate. When they have support for the Haitian people, okay, because they're a foreign community, and America knows the reason why they had to back up system towards Haiti, because Haiti had done a lot to the American society and also the community of one. But they never in a whole looked at this situation and gave any type of help. Because to this day, Florida has changed their curriculum of Black history and eliminated some stuff, okay, through the school's textbooks, and even went to the higher learning, which I feel is unfair because that's not teaching the whole entire of situation of happening. Because in the past is what made into the future, which they're trying to create in the future instead of going forward. Instead of us learning about technology and learning the in-depth source and come together as one, we always have someone who is like an antagonist to our future and our economy and always trying to give a bad seed towards the Black community. Ron DeSantis, Gregory Abbott, and many others, even Trump, JD, and the rest of them, they all have this conservativeship of putting their hatred and their lies and spurs. Woke is not a bad word. It should not die. There should not be no anti-woke. You heard campaigning of people in the Caucasian community saying that how they hate us and they wanted to tear us, but they never gave us that kind of support that they're giving right now to the Haitian people. Okay, but they should have given support for both societies, including the Haitian people, because the way how they were doing it, they were slurring racial slurs, similar to what they did with the woke campaign. So that is what I put on the content. And what I said was never wrong, because this is coming from the horse's mouth of a man that's very prejudiced, who's running a community that deals with minorities like Black Americans, Black immigrants, even ones that's Black that has documented. He's dealing with the Hispanic culture. He's dealing with the Native Indian culture. He's dealing with the Chinese culture. He's dealing with all cultures that's considered as a minority that is outside of the Caucasian culture. And to me, when you're running a state or running a local or running a presidency, you have to give equal opportunity for everybody. And once again, the NWCPA used to be an organization for colored people, but apparently they always sit back and chill. And you have the Black Caucus that did not do anything. They only did the aftermath when people started protesting against him, listening to his racial slurs. And that's all I have to say.
You know what? I don't think Black people and women should have the right to vote. Now, this video more than likely will be taken down. But that's okay. It's how I feel. I don't think Black people, especially the so-called Black Americans, should have the right to vote, because think about it. You've been voting Democrat for how long? And the only thing Democrats have to do is make false promises. All they have to do, somebody like Kamala Harris come along that's clearly Indian and tell you about how she washed greens in the bathtub, and Hillary Clinton came along with the hot sauce, and Barack Obama came along, and you love his wife and you love Barack Obama, that's my president. And yet they've done nothing for you. Blacks have been murdered in churches, man. Churches shot up. And they didn't even give you a hate crime bill. But yet you still vote for them. You're too loyal to them. You are loyal to the Democrats. So you don't vote according to policy. You vote according, my mama was a Democrat, my daddy was a Democrat, I'm gonna remain a Democrat. I was born to be a Democrat. And you stay there, and it's easy for them to control you, to manipulate you, to put little shiny things in front of you. And you fall for it every single time, every single election time. They come with the same fake promises. All they have to do is talk about reproduction health. All they got to do is talk about health care and racism, and they control you with blackness and race, and they make you think that the opposing party is racist, and now you guys go on a whole tangent. They said this about Black people, he's a racist, he's this and that and the other, and you don't even realize, you can't even see that you are being discriminated against. They're mocking you, making mockery of you. Kamala Harris comes along and she's clearly Indian. She says she was Indian, but yet because she's got a little skin color, you say she's black. And she's like manipulating. She's using that to her advantage. Kamala Harris is using your ignorance to her advantage. And you will still vote for her. Not all black people, but black Americans are so easily to deceive, to manipulate, and to control. And I can see why and how slavery happened, and see how and why it lasted so long. Because you're so easy deceived, you're so easily manipulated, and you're too emotional. You are too emotional. Hence, women are too emotional. And they vote wrong. It's like you vote because a woman has a Gucci purse. You know, oh, I like her purse, so I'm going to vote for her. Oh, I like the way the first lady dressed, so I'm going to vote for him. Oh, she's a black woman, so we got to have a woman. But what does she stand for? I don't know. She's a woman, and we need a woman. Okay, what's her policy? Reproduction health. And you don't even realize that reproduction health is just a fancy word of saying abortion. They're giving you the right to murder your unborn child. They're trying to stop they're trying to stop you from multiplying. They don't want you to multiply, but yet they would get up there and they would, like Kamala Harris is speaking that fake voice and sound like she's black and get you all emotional and say, get out to the polls because he's a racist. And what do? Go out to the poll. You would turn on your own family because they vote for the opposing party because they got in your head and they made you believe that that person was so bad and that person was such a racist that you ought to vote for them, and yet they've done nothing for you. They watch you being murdered in the street. They watch you suffering, and they're bringing in undocumented immigrants or illegal immigrants using your tax dollars in front of you, giving them $15,000 EBT cards and $5,000 in cash, free lodging, health care, put them in the same school as your kids, took your kids out of school and put their kids in this school, and then you still vote for them. Because I was born a Democrat. My mama was a Democrat. My daddy was a Democrat. I'm going to remain a Democrat. So black people and women should not have the right to vote. Women are too emotional and men are too, especially in the black community. It's just mind-blowing to me that you have so-called black men that want women to lead them. The Bible says that women should not usurp authority over man. But you got all these black dudes wanting their women. They're looking for a mama. You got all these women on the front line protesting, lifting their voice up, and you got the dude sitting in the back. Go ahead, sister. Why aren't you leading, man? Why aren't you out front? Right? So I don't think black people are ready. I don't think women are ready. Women are too emotional. And look at what happened when Hillary Clinton lost the election. You had all these women going crazy, yelling and screaming and crying. Too emotional. And you vote with your feelings. So, and you're going to have access to nuclear codes? They're telling you, like, look, they're gonna take you into World War III. Well, I don't care. It's a woman. As long as it's a woman. Got all these black politicians, these black women, and that's why Biden chose black women for the Supreme Court, because he know that black women are loyal to them. They don't care nothing about the so-called black community. All of these black politicians care nothing about you, but you vote for them because they black. So you're not ready. I don't think black people and I don't think women should have the right to vote. What do you think?
So this is all I have from this video, and I am going to say this before I start speaking, right? I am not going to, I will try as much as I can not to be disrespectful, right? You ask, what do we think, right? And it's only an ignorant person that will wake up and say that I want people's rights to be stripped off. Why? Because you are also as bad as the person you are agitating for. Of all things to do, I mean, of all things to say that about Black people, about everything going on in Black community, about how life has been in Black community, I did not see you talk about the young Black man that was somewhere. I did not see you talk about that. With everything going on in Black community, the best you could come up with was to tell Black people to say that you don't think that Black people and Black women should have the right to vote. I mean, who are you to say that? So if you do not want them to have the right to vote, so what era are you taking them back to? Because now let me tell us something. Sometimes we are always very, especially me, let me say, I am always very quick to call these people out on some certain things they do to people that look like me. But as you all can see, you all can actually see that it is our own person that is telling us that it is not okay for Black women and Black people to vote. Why? Because they are emotional. What made you emotional? Now, the reality is that if you look at, see, this is no shade to any Black man. I know it's not all Black men, right? I see a lot of responsible. I see all of you. I am not like, trying to put it is not all of you. So get this. Some Black men did not go to school. When you check, Black women are more educated, like the demographic, like they are very educated. And the truth is that they have foresight. I am not saying this because I am a woman. No, I am saying this because I have watched them talk. And in the end, it happens the way they say it. It's only a silly person that we say that I have not learned from history, or I have not learned from what has happened to us over time, right? If I say that I want the rights of women, or okay, let me say personally, if I say that I want the rights of men to be taken away, right? I hope you know that it is going to affect my father, my siblings, because I have brothers. And I have so many male cousins, and I have so many male friends. I am putting them first because they are my first people to talk about first, right? So I value them that much, and I would never for a day agitate something like that. Impossible, right? So for a Black man to sit right on his camera to tell me that, or to talk about how he thinks that Black women shouldn't have the right to vote. So it means all the things our ancestors fought back then was just a joke, because they fought tooth and nail to make sure that they got the right to vote and be voted for. I am still trying. I don't know why I'm talking this. I am still trying to process it. Sincerely speaking, it doesn't sound right. It does not sound any right. Because you ask to him, how can a woman lead a man? Where is it written that a man is always the lead? I just do not understand why some people are unnecessarily scared. What are you scared for? You said a Democrat or what, but they have not done anything for Black people. The person that you are voting for, right? Like you're applying, what has he done for? What has he done for Black people? You also mentioned that Kamala Harris did not talk about her policy. Did you watch the debate? Because I personally watched the debate and I saw and I heard her policy. She kept and continuously hammering on them. Why are we lying unnecessarily? Why are we doing this to ourselves unnecessarily? Now, let me tell us something. The war, as like external war, or let's say, okay, let me use external fight, are kind of not as strong as internal fight. Why did I say that? Because anything happening in the home, in the house, in the circle is very damaging, and that is very detrimental. I am sick and tired of coming online all the time to see some certain people speak the way they are, the way they speak. See, it does not, sincerely speaking, it does not speak good of you. You might be a good person on your own, but for what I am saying, for what you say, because of what you speak, is absolutely, it comes from your heart, from your belly. And anything that comes from your heart and your belly, that is how it is. See, I cannot continue talking about unity, peace, encouragement, upliftment, and all that. And we sometimes cannot even advise ourselves. If we cannot advise ourselves, so what are we talking about? Okay, I don't know. If you have Black children, if you have Black wife, how would you feel if your family as people cannot exercise their human? I mean, how can somebody agitate for taking away people's right? You know what this is like? Interesting, really. Okay, now I think I am just going to let this slide. I am not letting it slide because it's dangerous. This is very dangerous to Black community. If only you people understand. I am moving forward to run the signings. Okay, why Sister Black Pearl was talking, she said something about, he has really been a great leader. And when I was like, who? And then she said, ironic. I calmed down because you all already know that Florida is where woke goes to die. And it is still like that till this very moment. Nothing changed. But the truth is that how do people wake up and say it is just these people that I want to keep, it's just this particular people that I want to center on? How do they do that? Because so far that I've known, it's all Black people that their target is always people that look like me. And like the other man said, we are not angry enough. And that is absolutely truth. I've been saying it on my videos. Number one is that something is going to happen. We scream, we cry, we get very emotional. After one day, that is the end. Are we still talking about Sonia Massey? No. Are we still talking about this young man that just, no. And other people? No. And that is how it is going to continue. Not until we all, because when I say we, you all, it means like I am. No, it is like collective thing. It's not just a one-man squad, a one-man game. It is something that everybody needs to pull up, and say enough is enough. We cannot take this anymore. But if we continue to swallow things up, this one happened. You swallow it. The other one, you swallow it. One day you might be choked up, right? And when you get choked up, it's going to affect you, not the people. So the earlier, the better. Because the more you swallow, the more dangerous it is for you. See you all in my next video. Bye for now.